Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Plot podcast. This week we have the amazing women's fiction novelist Mary Newnham. She has her debut novel coming out in 2026. It has actually just been released in Germany. So if you are in Germany or Europe, you might be able to grab your copy now. But for those of us who are in the UK, you will have to wait till early 2026. I had a fabulous time talking to Mary. She is fabulous. She's funny. She shares her story from when she first started, what inspires her, how she became published, and what it looks like now that she's about to have her debut being released. So tune in, sit back, listen, hear Mary's story, and P.S. don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share with your friends and family, and leave a comment. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy. Bye. Mary, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very well. I'm very well.
Good.
I just have to say that those of you who are listening, I put a countdown on. So when I said to Mary, 5 seconds to go, it's like the pressure's about to hit. So we were laughing.
The build up.
Yeah, it's like, showtime. But yeah, Mary, I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. And thank you so much for being a guest. I know
Thank you for
the
having
audience
me.
really love hearing your story, and I'm super excited to hear it as well. Done a little bit of research, so I'm intrigued to ask you some questions around kind of your success in your career. But as always, do you want to give yourself a little bit of an introduction?
Oh, sure. So hello everyone. I'm I'm Mary, Mary Newnham. I am fresh on the game, as you'd say. I got my first book deal last year with Hodder, and my debut novel, Elman Doesn't Feel Sexy, is coming out in January, which is just crazy. It's a dream come true. But it's a women's fiction, a contemporary romance comedy novel, let's
Love
say.
it.
Yeah, and then and then I've got a book two coming out in the September as well. So it's all kind of go 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 at the moment.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about those because I did see that you had your debut novel coming out in Jan. Before we get into that though, I'm
Mhm.
intrigued to hear how you first started writing because everyone's journey is slightly different, right? But yeah, how did yours start?
So it started with a Bloody Mary blog when when I was in my early 20s. It was that time when everyone was obsessed with gourmet burgers and gin in
Yeah.
London, and I was just running about, and I loved Bloody Marys back then, and obviously been a Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought the blog called That Bloody Mary, and I just started reviewing them and then attaching stories to when I drank them, and then um, I don't, and that's where it was such a silly hobby I was doing on the side, but
Yeah.
it kind of weirdly was the thing that people kept saying, like by the time I was in my late 20s, they were like, "Oh, that Bloody Mary blog," and I was like, "Gosh, that's kind of like my biggest achievement." Like in a weird, but it didn't have it didn't have any readership, but people remembered it.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess that was the time I was sort of putting stuff out there in the world. When I was a child, I was just writing things down all the time, little stories.
Yeah.
Um, Either that or I was like getting my little characters in my room, and
Yeah.
there was just a story wherever I was going. So,
Yeah. Oh,
um,
amazing.
yeah. So I feel like I was sort of more into telling stories that
Yeah.
went into filmmaking and all that stuff. And then it wasn't until my 20s that I started to really like craft writing, because I
Yes.
really wanted to tell stories, and sort of the skill of writing had to come after that kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had a career. Were you in TV production before?
I was in advertising. So I was doing,
Advertising.
yeah. So I really loved film editing. So I thought I was going to go into all of that sort of, editing Hollywood films.
Yeah.
But ended up sort of on this production route doing content, and then ended
Yeah.
up in advertising in like production department. And that was great. I mean, you learn so much from just seeing the craft and seeing how many people are involved in a 30-second ad, and
Yeah.
just all the people, just the collaboration that goes on in that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it's just been a sort of taking little things all the way through my 20s. So hopefully, sort of that makes me, helps my writing really.
Yeah. So from your blog then,
Mhm.
what happened? Like, you were doing that while you were working, right? And then what kind of happened? What transpired from there?
Yeah, and then I stopped writing the blog. I moved to Australia. I was doing content stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and then I came back from Australia, and that's when COVID hit. And it was
Uh,
in COVID, when I was living with my mum. My
yeah.
mum's now, but so, yeah, she's like, "Go away."
Stop coming
um,
back.
yeah. But yeah, and then I was like, "Oh, I don't know." I was just looking back at my 20s. I was like, you know what? I really love doing that blog, and maybe if I just use this time while I'm at
Yeah.
this weird,
Yeah.
crossroads in my life, like just to sit down with a pen and, not pen and paper, a
Yeah.
keyboard, and just write a story. And I wrote a story called Can of Worms,
Yeah.
and it wasn't very good. um, so I wrote it, I sent it off, it got rejected, and I was like, I think I really need to get better at this, and I need some help now. I can't just do it by myself. So I was lucky enough to be able to do a master's in
Yeah.
creative writing.
Wow.
So I did that for a year, and the book I started writing in my master's is the book that's coming out.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
Can I ask you what was it? Can of Worms. What was that about?
oh gosh,
Mix of
it
everything?
yeah, it was I yeah, it was about, again, it was a romance thing. I think she wrote a book. You can see I've buried this down. She wrote a book, um, as an adult, about her romance in her teens. It comes out and it brings her
Ah,
romance man back, but he's all, and basically they solve the issues that they didn't solve when they were a teenager.
okay,
They
okay.
open the can of worms.
Ah, is it
Yeah.
something that you could maybe revisit, or is it like shut away in a cupboard, never to be seen
Yeah,
from
it's
again?
stuffed in a it is sort of laying dormant on a Microsoft document somewhere. But um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the thing about it, isn't it? It's like the words are
Yeah,
there, the clay's there, so
yeah,
maybe I would say it was meant to be a rom-com and it wasn't funny or really
okay.
romantic. So, so it would need a lot of work,
To
I'd
do,
say.
yeah, maybe just
Yeah.
keep it on that, yeah, on that, desktop, hidden for a while.
Yeah.
Um, I'm interested actually only because I've lived in Australia as well. Where did
Oh,
you live?
Brisbane.
Oh, lovely. Okay, I was
Yeah.
I was living in Sydney, but I have been to Brisbane a few times, so
Oh, no. What did you think of Brisbane?
I liked it. Very different,
Yeah.
but much hotter. Like, they have more of the climate there, right? So it's warmer all year round. Yeah,
So
I
hot.
it's really interesting in Australia because, uh, like, I know people, like my sister lives in Melbourne. I've got friends in Perth. We've got friends in, like, Brisbane, and then
Mhm.
I lived in Sydney for a number of years, and it's quite interesting that everyone always says to me, like, "Would you live anywhere else in Australia?" And I was like, "No," but only because I think that I had a base and I created a life in Sydney that I just thought, "Oh, if I had to go anywhere else, then it would be a little bit, I don't know, you'd have to uproot again and
Yeah.
like Sydney."
Yeah. Sydney's lovely. I mean, Sydney is. I visited it. It's
Very
beautiful. It's
busy.
very busy.
Yeah.
I think I moved from London and I was a bit like, oh, I'm just going to be so extreme and just be like so different. And oh my gosh, I was sunburnt the whole time. I was so hot.
Yeah, it's really hot there. Yeah.
It's so hot. I don't think I walked at all. I just sat under a fan for 2.5
Yeah.
years, really.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's a nice place to go. It is so far away,
yeah.
but it is lovely, yeah, and you're right. Like, people move to Brisbane because of the weather all year round, so they'll go because they want the sunshine and the warmth in the winter, but summer, it's like humidity, isn't it, and very
Oh,
hot.
yeah. like, just yeah, grossly hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was relieved, and I miss the seasons. Just
Yeah.
would you ever go back?
Yeah, we would. Yeah, my
Yeah.
partner, he's actually Australian, so
Oh,
and I'm lucky enough that I have a dual passport, so yeah, I
oh, that's
can. If
cool.
I want to, I can. Yeah, I worked
Yeah,
hard to get that.
yeah, yeah. I
Well, I was there
bet.
for like 14 years. I worked hard to get that passport, but
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
very lucky that I do have a dual passport, so I can, yeah,
yeah.
kind of,
But it is a commitment, isn't it? Everyone just thinks, oh, you just sort of, you know, you sign a thing and then you get it, but it's a thing.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
There was
You earned
times
it.
where I was like, I just wanna leave," and then I was like, "Nope, stick at keep doing it because there's a goal there's a, end goal," and then thankfully I got
Yeah.
it, and I got to do things I actually wanted to do, and,
Oh, that's so
yeah,
good.
so
Yeah,
that's yeah.
yeah. Oh,
You
amazing.
came back, did
Mhm,
your master's for a year, wrote
mhm.
this novel that's gonna be released in Jan, but
Yeah.
how did that work in terms of you wrote it, and then what happened? Like, when you felt did you get people to review it first before you sent it out for submission?
It went in very different stages. So I like for the masters you write like 20,000 words or
Yeah.
something or 18,000, and then they were like, "Oh, that's the distinction," and for that, and I was like, "Well, that's the first nice grade I've had, so that's maybe it's all right." So I carried on working, and then we did like an anthology where you present it,
Yeah.
and I presented like the first chapter, and I got some interest from an agent who said, "Oh, when you finish the full manuscript, send it my way." So I was like, spent all summer like, oh, yes, got my agent. Like, here we go. And then obviously it's not as easy as that. And
Yes.
I think what I sent her, um, now I look back and I'm like, no, it wasn't good enough. But yeah, so it it didn't happen then. So I was like, right, it needs to change again. So I went
Yeah.
back into the edit. I got rid of a quarter of it.
Wow,
And
okay.
yeah, just it was one of those things that I was like, I've spent this amount of time on it, so I have to keep going.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
meanwhile, in your head, you're like, but once if it just doesn't happen, and then
Yeah.
you're just spent, and by this point, everyone kind of knows you're writing a book. You want to do it in secret in case it doesn't happen. But by this point, everyone's like, what happened to that agent that was interested? But oh god. Oh. So yeah, so I was very determined to
Yeah.
just keep going with it. And I did. I got family. I had a few friends that wrote notes on it. I
Yeah.
had and I spoke to an indie publisher who was like, yeah, this is too short, so you need to, and it just gave me really good advice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then I sent it off again, and then it got interest, but and I was just so relieved.
How long was the process then from you submitting it to an agent, doing all those, doing all the rework and editing to then
Mhm.
send that final submission for then interest?
I would say from January to it was about 6 months when I
Okay.
went through it all again,
Yeah.
and then sent it off, and then signed something.
Amazing.
Um, but it was very like staying in on a Saturday night, sort
Yeah.
of, you know.
Having no life.
Yeah, yeah. I was very yeah. I did put all my time in it. I was lucky enough to go right. This is all I'm gonna do,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate that. That's what I had, and I do think
Yeah.
time is really helpful for these things.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but yeah, Saturday nights were. I was like, I'm like, I really need to find a husband at some point. Like, you know, just sort of writing these fictional men. Like, but yeah, no, I felt just it was a very surreal experience when it
Yeah.
did all come together because I just couldn't, and I still can't quite believe it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just feel
It's
really lucky.
amazing though, like, you must feel very proud of yourself to yeah, to be at that stage now from how you said writing that book, Can of Worms, to, like, now having a
Yeah.
debut novel coming out, like
Yeah, it does
big
feel it is odd, and I think people, and I think all the way through it, you're just in like, no, this is. Like, this
Yeah.
doesn't happen. And,
Yeah.
and I just felt like, oh, if to be published, I would have had to spend all my 20s, or at least been sort of
Yeah.
done some journalism
Yeah.
or done something like that. So yeah, so I feel really grateful, but
Amazing.
yeah,
And
felt
so
also.
I'm quite curious, like your journey from when they said yes
Hmm.
to like being released in Jan,
Hmm.
what's that looked like for you?
So the industry, I did like a speech to some undergrads at Oxford Brookes, but I was like, the industry is like riding a doped up snail. Like it is so slow. Um, you sort of send an email and then like a month later, it's like, oh, okay, now this,
Yeah.
it's just it,
Yeah.
but it's, obviously people are reading books that
Yes.
it's not, looking at a painting which you can
Yeah.
absorb straight away. Um, so yeah, it's we did a few when I got my agent, we did a few redrafts, like I think two,
Yeah.
and then we sent out to pitch, and then um, they were like, this could take months. Germany put a offer in, so it was getting
Okay.
published. So yeah,
Yeah.
I knew it was getting published in Germany before the UK, which was brilliant
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
weird and great. And then I got three offers by January, and then it went into
Wow.
like an auction, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I was just
That's
crying.
amazing.
But yeah, it was yeah, again surreal. And then I chose the agent that the publishing house that
Yeah.
my heart went with. And yeah, and then I've just been working with this with my lovely editor Audrey, and
Yeah.
yeah, just sort of how long has that been? Takes a year, yeah, it's about a year. So they
Yeah.
signed it in January, and then it's a year, and
Yeah.
then we
I've heard,
sell.
yeah, other authors have said like it is quite a lengthy process in terms of like once you get that yes to
Yeah,
then actually the book coming out. And I think that's why like we were talking actually about like the difference of like why people might do it independently versus traditional, and sometimes it's just a preference that they want more control and actually they can release more books than they might be able to typically in a year than what they would traditionally as well. So
yeah,
um I can imagine you like this just waiting like when's my book going to be released.
yeah, yeah. You think you sign it, and you're like, right, let's go. Right, when's the book
Yeah.
out? They're like,
Yeah. So that's being released in Jan. Are you going to do any like will you do like promotional tours and
I think so. Yeah, we're sort of working out launching
yeah,
stuff. It's really funny again with the first book because it's, I mean, mine's you know, a good paperback book, but
yeah,
it's, and I just think you think it's going to be a bit more, but you do a lot of yourself as an author to get
yes,
out there.
yeah,
There's a lot at the moment. I'm doing a lot of just, trying to be a bit more on the gram,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
You see all these authors struggling.
I know.
I mean, and I quite enjoy it. I don't mind it. It channels that sort of film thing I
Yes,
love, but suddenly you have to be a bit more out there, and you've
out
been
there.
in a
You do.
cave. Yeah,
Yeah,
you've sort of been a bit of a goblin in a cave for a few years, and you kind of emerge out.
yeah, yeah. Th-
Have to.
it is interesting though, because yeah, you do. I feel like you have to market yourself a lot more now and
Yeah.
put yourself out there, vulnerability, and yeah, I follow this. I follow one author, Gillian, and she was saying how like you could see um her her God, why can't I get the word out? Her like request going up, like more and more people were following her, and then she
Yeah.
like posted that like because she'd been posting about her dog, like so many people were interested in that.
Yeah.
Which is ironic, yeah,
Literally.
bring on the followers, but it's quite
Literally.
funny. It's like you open your life up and like give a glimpse of people into your world, and then it's like, oh, they actually like me talking about the fact that I like cooking or like my animals or my
Yeah.
children. And I think it's more not just about that, but it's they're getting to know you as a person and then they feel like a connection. So they want to see more. And yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
I know. And I mean, I don't know anything about AI, and they're sort of, I know they sort of copy your tone and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's, I always think people are more interested in being like, oh, how did you write a book, or who are you to write a book, and does it
Mm.
come from your life?
Yes, yeah.
Rather that, I think that kind of adds to
Well,
their
100%.
reading experience. And I think social media is just this tool that kind of does that quite easily and free for a lot of the time. Um, so yeah, we're in a weird time at the moment that we're all trying to
No.
work out um
Yes.
what's effective and what we all actually want, really.
Yeah, and I think it is just a genuine connection because I don't know about you, but, like, I like to see people's, personal lives and stories. I think you can resonate
Yeah.
with them so much more than versus just pretending to be someone or maybe have a stigma about someone, "Oh, they must be like that," and actually
Yeah.
see the world and their vulnerability and they're personable and they're friendly and genuine. You're like, "Oh, they're just like a normal person." And I think it just brings them down to, like, everybody's level, while sometimes we put people on a pedestal, right? And I think,
Yeah.
it's I think especially it's nice for those, um aspiring authors, when they
Mhm.
look at some authors that may be more established, I think for them as well, it's nice to be like, "Oh, they started where I am. Like, I
Yeah.
just need to keep going and I will get to my end goal." Like, rather
Yeah.
than thinking people just get there by, I don't know, clicking their fingers, or like people go through just the same hard work as everybody else and they have their struggles and challenges and obstacles.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, and
Definitely.
that's why I want to do this podcast, right, to share the stories, 'cause it's amazing how everybody's story is so different, but they do
Yeah.
have, like, commonalities around, they started writing when they were younger, and they've always, like, maybe dipped their toe in a bit while also going into a different profession, and then always coming back to it, and then at one point going, "I'm gonna give this a go," and then following their heart and it being rewarded.
Yeah, definitely. No, and I think that's what is quite nice about this, and especially like with writing and reading, it's quite an introverted thing. We don't really
Yeah.
like sort of shouting out or asking for help. So
Yeah.
if you can just sort of like see that, oh, again, and it is nice, and I think it seems like a nice community. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes I like look on threads and that there's like a war going on because, someone's had an opinion on audiobooks or whatever, and I step
Yes.
away from that. But on the whole,
Yeah.
everyone is just, this is a shared love that we have, is
Oh,
like characters and stories and people. So we're naturally quite sort of empathetic people, I think, if we want to
yes,
invest our time reading about people. And
I think
so
so, yeah. Everyone
yeah.
everyone I've come in to connection with has been lovely and just very supportive of everybody as well, like, no bad words, and I think the only negative things come from readers, right? And I think it's just
Hmm.
sometimes that's just their personality, isn't it? They're
Oh
just
yeah.
out there to get people, and
Yeah.
you just have to ignore that noise and just be like, "Well, my book isn't for them." Like, I've got so many other people that love it, just ignore those negative comments.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I'm obviously quite new and yet to sort of get this on site, see all these negative, and I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to get a thicker skin for all that in the future. I'll probably 2 years from now, I'll probably be smoking like a gas.
I when I launched this podcast, I can remember I put a post on Instagram and then someone just commented, "Does anybody read books anymore?" And I just ignored it. I was like, "What are you going on about?" Like,
Like, why would you even?
I was like, "You're either a bot or you're just some miserable person who doesn't have anything else good to say." I just ignored it, but I laughed. I was
Yeah.
like, I wanted to reply and I was like, "No, I'm not going
Yeah.
to go into that." Because I thought, what a silly comment to make. Like, yeah,
I
well,
just don't
see,
understand it. And
like,
I'm like, also, because you are putting you're putting yourself out there,
yeah,
and then you pick the cover up and you've got your
yes,
guests and stuff, and then
yeah,
someone it's like, mate,
I know, I know. It is
what are
quite
you
funny. I think you
doing?
just have to laugh at those moments and just be like, "Okay, see you
Yeah,
later." Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna like, I don't know. I want to, because they say, I mean, agents, they're like, "Don't look online, don't look at the reviews," kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just sort of like, "Oh, I don't know."
I'm sure they'll be fabulous. Yeah, I think you won't have any issues, and if you do get any, just ignore them and just
Yeah.
focus
Gotta
on positive ones of the readers that will now follow you, right? Because did you say so you got a 2 book deal, right? So you've got one
Yes.
coming in Jan and then one coming out in September?
Yes, yes. So,
Amazing.
book 2 is currently the first draft is with the editor, so
Yeah,
whatever she's thinking of that, I don't know yet. So we'll see, and then I'm just sort of starting to, like, look at book 3 now. So I'm just
gosh.
putting um, but I love it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just yeah.
How do you, like, finish a book and then you can start writing a second one, or do you have to give yourself a bit of a break? What does that
Oh,
look like
yeah,
for you?
no break.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
I
can't.
love time out.
No. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, "I'm off."
Yeah.
Like
Go drink my Bloody Marys and start my blog again.
yeah, literally. Um, a lot of my books are very about things I have taken from life,
Yep.
and it's really interesting. The first 2 books, and even like book 3, while I'm starting to write it, it's like it's definitely reflecting on the years of when I've been
Yeah.
writing the other book. Um, so they're kind of growing old with me.
Oh,
Um,
that.
and obviously, as a woman in my early 30s, and I was single for book 1 and book 2, and
Yeah.
that was yeah, so you can imagine the you imagine the disaster that and the real, characters that you come
Yeah.
across.
I was
Um,
gonna say, can you give us, like, without telling us about the books, but, like, what's inspired you? Like, are there certain things that have, like, happened in your life that you've started to write about?
yeah, I mean, like, book 1 is yeah, I don't wanna give too much away about it,
Yeah.
but, book 1 is about an awkward physics teacher who's just on her way to getting married, and she's trying to work out why her fiancé is not having sex with her. But
Yeah.
she's kinda getting it all wrong.
Okay.
Uh, look, yeah, bless her. Um, but that was very much like, that's just conversations with friends and stuff,
Yeah.
Um, Ben's not putting out, and you're like, "But why? You're" you know, like, "You're a blonde influencer,"
Yeah.
to your friend or whatever, um, and just sort of and like just sort of questioning a lot, sort of reflecting on our generation,
Yeah.
sort of porn and OnlyFans, and
Yeah.
it all sort of being a bit of a mess in your head in your
Yes.
late 20s.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and also just there's it can be quite scary as a woman. There's a lot of
Mm.
women who are really confident
Yeah.
sexually, on social media, and if you don't feel that way, it's like, and you're internally beating yourself up and tearing yourself apart because you're not getting the validation from your partner.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's the person I wanted to write about,
Yeah.
and I think there's more. There's a lot of us around.
Yeah, yeah. It'll
Um,
resonate with a lot of people because it sounds like she's thinking about what she's done wrong, and I think
yeah,
we always do that as females, don't we? It's always like, "What have we done wrong?" And actually, it's
yeah,
not always something that we've done. It's like, maybe it's how the other person's feeling. So that
yeah,
sounds that definitely sounds funny, if it's
yeah.
got bits of like, yeah.
And I
Well,
and
then
I wanted to make it funny because I think well, first of all, I can't write seriously because I can't do anything seriously, but, it's I think if we can laugh about it, that's sort of opening a
yeah,
door that we can talk about it,
yeah,
and, and it is funny.
yeah.
It's,
Is
you know
your 2nd book, is it a standalone, your 2nd book? Doesn't follow
Yeah,
on from the yeah.
it's a standalone, and, but it depends if the editor
Yeah.
goes throws it in a bit and starts again, so I don't wanna say too much about it, but, it's very much quite I do
Yes.
try and I wanna write stories that, like, my
Yeah,
friends can relate to, or I can relate to, or, just sort of, uh, over-analyzing probably our
yeah,
generation and what we're going through, and sort of,
yeah,
in the most light-hearted way,
yeah.
you know?
Do you know now though, like, I mean, obviously your debut hasn't come out yet, and they're probably gonna look at you know, numbers in terms of how many books have sold, but have you asked the question, because you just said you're working on your third novel,
Mhm.
do you have to go through the same submission process, like, with your agent? Have you asked that question?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, I'm just gonna write this away and just see
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you know. And I'll
I've
answer
got, like,
difficult questions later.
5 more books for you to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's the scary thing, isn't it? Because I think once you're in, you're like, okay, I'm in. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
let's go sit by a palm tree, and it's like, no, it's like
yeah.
it's like clinging on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think as soon as I get a bit nervous about it all, I just think, well, just go back to the keyboard, go back to the
Yeah,
page. That's
yeah,
what I love doing. That's what
yeah,
got me here. Um,
exactly.
but yeah, hopefully we'll see.
Well, if they liked it and they know what they're talking about, right? Because they get so many manuscripts on their desk that, they obviously know there's a market for it. So keep
Yeah,
writing what you're writing.
thank you.
Um, and like you said, it goes down to the love and the passion of, like, you've got to enjoy it. And I
Yeah,
think if you don't enjoy it, then that's where you start to lose that passion. It becomes more of a chore, like more of a job. But I
yeah,
think, yeah, if you love it, it's just something that you incorporate into your life. It's you, isn't it? It's part of your life. It's like, I'm going to write for me, and then hopefully it will be successful and earn me some money at some point.
yeah, literally. Yeah, definitely. I think it can be. Yeah, if you, I feel if you overthink it as you in the industry as a writer and like look at it, that's when it gets a bit terrifying. And
Yeah.
I just think, maybe not, you know, you got to remove yourself from it and go get
Yes.
obsessed with the characters, not, you as a writer,
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so yeah. So, and I'm just a nicer person when I'm writing. If I get up in the morning and I've done my word count,
Yeah.
you know, I'm like,
You're like, I'm actually
so
happy now, and I feel at peace.
yeah, literally. You just feel complete in a day, and when you're on a roll. And I think there's different. What I'm figuring out is there's different versions and different stages of this whole thing, and
Yeah.
I think there's sort of real creative part, which is what I'm doing at the moment. It's just throwing the clay down on the wheel, I call it, because I think people get writer's block because they just stare at a white page and they're
Yeah.
overthinking the sentence. So I'm like, put the clay on the page and then you can come back and mold it later,
Yeah.
Patrick
Yeah.
Swayze style. And I think you need your early morning. Well, I need my early morning brain for that, because that's
Yeah.
when, before you look at Instagram, before, anyone's talking to you or you're it's
Yes.
just so nice to just have that piece of just this is your world, and then you go into the real world again.
Yeah. I
Um,
love.
yeah, and so if that's kind of that stage, and then when you edit, I feel you can do it a bit more like office
Yeah.
hours in a way. You don't really need that real, I don't know, where you're just pulling out
Yeah.
random random men that you think about, onto a page,
Yeah.
you know. So
So, I mean, we talked about what inspires you and, like, kind of like the, yeah, inspiration for your books, but
mhm.
have you found, like, what have been your challenges or obstacles, like, along the way? If you could kind of, like, pinpoint, like, 1 or 2 that you've faced?
Like, do you like mentally, or do you think for people that sort of, or
Oh, I think anything that you've kind of found a challenge, like being a writer and becoming an author.
yeah, I think it's always is protecting your time.
Yeah.
The thing is with writing, if you don't write that day, there's no consequences. Though no
Yeah.
one knows about it. So you can easily say, oh, if someone's like, oh, can you go and, you know, look after my cat during your working hours? It's a
Yes.
bit, it's quite hard to be like, no, because I got to write a story.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, so I think it's having the boundaries and being quite tough to be like, no, um, no, this is what this is work, and this is,
Yeah.
if
This
I
is a
was,
job. Yeah.
yeah, and at the end of the day, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm making a product, and if I was like one of these, you know, sort of entrepreneurs that are going around the city with a product,
Yeah.
no one would question them spending a year out of their lives to like build it up and
Yeah.
putting their time in to build up this business. So sometimes I'm like, I'm making a product and I have to have
Yes.
that time to do it kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you've
Not
gotta
to
be
rip the
strict on
soul out of it.
yourself. Yeah. Yeah, you have to be
Yeah.
strict and be kind of like, "No, this is what I'm doing." And actually, Pippa, who I first interviewed, she said exactly the same, that people were like, "Oh, can you just go and pick this up from the shop?" And she's like, "No, I'm writing." But then they'd be like, "Oh, you can do that anytime." Um, so in terms of, like, a couple more questions that I'd love to hear from you, and I know the audience would. If you could co-write a book with anyone, have you thought about who you would write one with? And they could be dead or alive.
um, this is, yeah, yeah. Um, this is such a hard one. I think because I'm a newbie, I'm like, you know, if I was like, oh, Nick, call me. Why don't we do like this book where you write a letter and I write a letter about football, and we sort of, and he'll be like, who the hell are you? Like, um, but yeah, but so obviously as a new writer, like just always like, oh, who can I learn from? In
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sense. Um, but yeah, like I mean, my heroes have always been those sort of, obviously love the David Nichols, love the
yeah,
Nick Hornby, the Willie Russell.
yeah.
Um, so but um, also I'm a writer, and collaborating and working with people is like, ooh. It's you're like, the idea is lovely, and then you're like, oh, but I let my lonely this time, and you're a bit of a control freak,
Oh.
aren't you, as well?
Yeah,
You
you've
know.
gotta have, like,
But
similar
yeah,
style,
so
or is
yeah, I think,
different?
yeah, very similar style. I mean, like, yeah, because obviously, like, Stephen King and me, it's just like, no.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, obviously as a newbie, I'm just a bit like, oh God, everyone's a hero at the moment. So I'd feel really, I wouldn't want to even put myself in anyone's arena at the moment.
Oh, well, keep that in the back of your mind, because as you become more established, they'll be probably interested to, yeah, there'll be other people out there who would probably love to write with you, although I do think it's quite niche and you've gotta choose the right person because, yeah,
Yeah,
different styles and different commitments and, yeah, it'll be quite
yeah,
interesting. Um,
yeah, yeah.
if you could write anywhere in the world, where would you want to write?
Oh, there's so many places. I mean, to be honest, at the moment I'm working from my mum's house in Cornwall, and that's really nice. It's nice to have my mum downstairs, you know, when to sort of talk to someone at the end.
Yeah,
Um, I there are dreams, isn't there? Like you think, oh, should I be like Colin Firth in Love Actually and sit on the side of a lake with a typewriter? You know?
and then half your manuscript gets blown away into, like, the pond.
Yeah, and a man takes off his clothes and it's just like wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, so you do have sort of those dreams, I guess. I don't want to go anywhere too nice, because otherwise you're like, oh, I want to go out and play. Oh, I want to be on the beach. I don't want to be in here.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I know, to be honest, I love my home. I do love my home.
yeah,
And, I've got, you know, lots of supportive people around me. So if, right. And then, if I go see them in the evening, I live in London at the moment. So that's always a nice thing, having a balance anyway.
yeah.
So, yeah, I know, sorry, that's a really romantic question. And I'm like, I want to write in Tottenham Hale. Like,
No, but it's fine. I get you actually, because I think we have this like dream, don't you? Like, oh, I want to be somewhere like super beautiful and fancy and just, on my, like I said, my typewriter. And that's not realistic because, like you said, you want to be out exploring and seeing the culture and doing stuff. But actually, you'd probably work the best that you can when you're in the environment that you're in right now because you've got that structure and you've got that discipline to do it and no distractions.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And you're next to the fridge, and
Yeah. A humming noise. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and what advice would you give to, aspiring authors, or, maybe authors who, writers who have written many books and, still want to get them traditionally published? Like, what advice would you give them based off how you've got to where you are now?
Oh gosh. Um, I think, I mean, obviously, it's all, it's a game of chance as well. And, I would say getting up early and just getting your words down, and also I do a thing where take time away from it, come back, and you kind of, it's so uncomfortable. I call it
Yeah,
the cringe era when I was doing it, because you're just like, oh, like even when you're reading your stuff back, I think getting out of that, just churning through that
yeah,
sort of that really uncomfortable space of reading back and having to go through it again.
yeah,
That's hard. And but I do think if you can get through that, then you're on your way a bit.
yeah,
Um, and when it comes to pitching to agents, I I was really looking for a certain type. I did want someone, yeah, I wanted to grow with someone. I wanted someone younger. And I definitely were looking at what they wanted as well. I think there's
yeah,
so many, Google's so big, isn't it? There's so many
yeah,
people there. Um, so I did find someone that was really, I really clicked with in that
yeah.
sense. Um, but again, it's hard because, um, I feel like I sort of did it, but I don't know if I had the answers in a way.
Yeah. Well, everyone's got their own journey, right?
Yeah.
I think your
Yes.
journey is very inspiring. You had to go through different obstacles, and like you started writing, then you had a break, and then you went back to it, and you actually did a writing course, which is amazing, right? To do a master's.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
that probably got you to where you are today, right? Mate, I always think like maybe if you hadn't done it,
Yeah.
there's always like a I always think there's like there's always that fork in the road, or there's that sliding doors moment. It's like, what am I gonna do? And you chose the route that's led you to here. And so through the hard work and
Yeah.
determination, I think if everything, people always say it's like consistency, hard work, like yes, you want to be out social with friends, but actually if you really want to be an author, if you want to be a true writer, like you've got to have that dedication and discipline to do it as well for the goals that you want to achieve.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely, like I said, I went back to talk to some undergrads, and I was saying to them, like, even on my course, I wasn't the best writer. In
Yeah,
other people got the writing prizes and stuff.
yeah,
I was very hungry for it though. I was really
yeah.
like, oh, I really want this. Like, not just for, um being able, I think just being able to like have the, I think the hardest thing is doing it without the validation.
Hmm.
Um, and then I was just like, oh gosh, if I can just keep doing, if I can just get that, and then I can keep doing this, then that would be brilliant.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, but
Oh,
life is funny. You never know, but yeah.
you never know. Well, I'm very excited for when your book comes out in January. I'll be marking that on my calendar and
Thank you.
watching you on Instagram. But where can people find you?
Thank you.
Obviously, I follow you on Instagram, so I know that you've got a good presence on there. Any other places that you are on socials?
So well, don't, I mean, you can follow my TikTok. TikTok's rubbish. I mean, I'm trying, but not really. So don't, yeah, maybe one day. Otherwise, obviously the quack.blog is, every 2 weeks at the moment. I'm releasing stuff out for that, and also on all the podcast platforms. You can listen to me talk about that with some sound effects. So yeah, they're probably my main things really. Again, threads I don't really talk on yet. Too scared, but maybe one
I
day.
haven't even looked at Threads. Like, yeah, TikTok, I try. I
Warzone.
still don't understand it. I keep saying to everybody I speak to, like, if someone has like the magic answer, please tell me. But no, so far, no one. It's like I think I find a lot of authors Instagram is a nice place to be. It's a good kind of
Yeah,
platform for authors, right? And people who love reading, and yeah, you got a whole bookstagram kind of piece going on there as well. So yeah, it works.
yeah. Yeah, love the gram, you
Yeah, yeah.
know.
Well, thank you so much, Mary, for
Yeah,
being on the podcast. I've absolutely loved having you as a guest,
thank you.
and had a few technical issues,
Thank
but
you. Thank you for
we wouldn't
having
be
me.
in you're welcome. We wouldn't be in the world that we are today without technical issues,
Mm,
so, I'm sure our audience will love
exactly.
listening to you.